Hi, I'm Gaurav from Procol. Welcome to the Procol podcast. We are just starting out today with our new series of procurement leaders in India. Uh, we want to talk about procurement, technology, business, and the future of procurement in the country. Today, I have with me Mr. Palsania, and welcome to the show, sir. I would love it if you can share how have you grown to such your background. Your background would be very.
So, Gaurav, as you know, I'm a professionally a chartered accountant, and I started my career from finance and then to commercial. Then also I've been a plant head and then back to commercial. And
So, where did the journey start?
okay, so I started my career from JK Cement, worked there for almost 5 to 6 years, moved to Ambuja for a year, did a project there, and came back to do another project with JK's. Remained there for around 5 years, took care of commercial activities, and post that got an opportunity to join Sri Cement. Worked there for 11 years, both in projects as well as operational commercial activities. And my last assignment there was to be a plant head of one of their grinding units, and also simultaneously worked with their executive director for coordination of activities throughout the group.
Okay.
In 2016, I got the opportunity to work with Dalmia, and I was there till 2023, almost 2 days back, till 2 days back. So it was a great experience there also, and because coming from a city like Jaipur to Delhi and settling it down and creating a department there, bringing it up, and took many challenges in waste management, green power, digitization of procurement, and innovative ways of procuring, getting long-term tie-ups and all. And fortunately, you can say that I have been able to connect with lot many people during this period in Delhi and across the globe. And Dalmia was, there are 14 locations of Dalmia across 10 states. So I got the opportunity to move around and meet number of people there. With that experience, I'm moving now to Sri from 1st of June, and it will be a business transformation journey, although it's the third largest company, cement industry in India. And talent, I can say that talent is unmatchable when we talk about Sri Cement, and the innovation is unmatchable. And so look forward to innovate in procurement also, and it's my privilege that I'm here with you and being the first contestant for this.
No contestant, sir. We'll keep it casual today.
Okay.
So happy to be here for sure. I think we moved into this new office just 2 months ago. So excited to host our first. This has always been something we wanted to do. So you mentioned about your past decades of experience in procurement. When you had started in the last 2 decades, how have you seen procurement practices when they were, what you saw them when you had started, and what they are today when you are a leader in the space?
So I'll say that traditionally it was just like, say, meeting people, calling people, negotiating, and a lot of manual and paperwork. But things were moving, but it was very slow towards digitization. Fortunately or unfortunately, the COVID period was the game changer. And where we started meeting people on screen, and say most of the negotiations were online or through auctions. And that was, you can say, partly compelled and partly forced. It was forced to us, and partly, that definitely we were transforming towards the new digitization practices. But that was the force, you can say, COVID period forced towards this transformation, and then definitely we enjoyed it. We were saving the traveling cost of our partners also. And secondly, when we are meeting one-to-one, it's more limited to the business.
Absolutely.
But we are meeting, whenever we meet on screen, 10-15 minutes, definitely we talk about what is happening around the world and what are the good practices and how we can better synergize, what are the other areas of their business. because everybody has got some extra time since they are on the screen.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'll say that today that has become a way of life in procurement, and that's good for all of us, because when we are away from papers, we are more on bang on the target. How to say spend more time on development activities,
They're more data driven.
more data driven, and people who are, say, always compiling the data and all, they come out of that tedious job and they find everything ready, right from the RFQ to the various offers, and everything are listed directly on the screen. So they can move around, they can meet the people, they can know what's new happening, and how it can contribute to optimize their cost of procurement.
But sir, आज से 20 साल पहले भी technology was there, right? E-procurement. We know all the legacy players in the market who had started in the West. Why was digital penetration for such applications so low?
So I'll say that to be very transparent and to be very, honest, digital procurement, like if we clearly spell it out, it is more from say RFP to the payments. The bigger challenge what I found in procurement is that a lot of capex procurement is happening. A lot of service contracts are being given, and that is basically based on manpower, and that is still a challenge to digitize this, because it's labor is not constant. Capex, we do not know what we are going to buy, so RFPs cannot be floated. Here, if a complete spend we are not able to cover in digitization. And I think a lot of companies like yours and others, they are working very hard how to integrate it into this digitized system. And once it is there, you will see that the adoption rate will be just 3x or 5x.
Yeah.
Seamlessness should be there. But otherwise, what happens, that part you are doing in this software, and part you are doing in SAP. So integration of both this spend is little difficult.
Right.
But I think good work is being done by organizations like yours, and I foresee that in the next 3 years, definitely everything will be on this platform.
Wow. Okay. So with that journey and that in mind, you also built talent who was now building. So how did you go from doing everything yourself, negotiating yourself, to now building up, managing a team, and then building an org of procurement? How was that journey like?
So I'll say that the organization structures of procurement across various organizations have changed. Earlier on, it was a very sleek structure. Now it's spread out. Now you will find a procurement excellence team also.
Yeah, I have seen that. There is a procurement excellence and a digital transformation team separate.
Separate in procurement, yes.
And also divided by geographies. So I've seen Asia, Europe, all separate.
Yes. And that's giving an edge, because see, one man doing floating RFPs and working on digitization also, negotiating also, the bandwidth is reduced, and you won't find, say, breakthroughs happening in that. So specialization now in India, earlier on multitasking was you can say it was something which everybody wanted to carry. But now, you will find that excellence is in each field. We are trying to create a vertical with excellent people who are having a lot of experience, and they are working only on excellence. Somebody working only on digitization, and then say MROs and services and CapEx team and raw material procurement, which was not earlier on part of procurement. It was always having a separate vertical for that. Now it's under procurement. Alternate fuels, green fuel, which is a big task to do now to bring, say, India to net zero by 2070. So that is we are having a separate vertical. Many organizations are having a separate vertical. Right. So with this excellence verticals, and people, concentrating on individual, say, task, that is giving a good pace to new practices in procurement and also digitizing everything on a fast track basis.
Right. What was the largest team that you handled and largest procurement spend that you
I was handling around spend of 2,800 to 3,000 crores per annum. And say it happened because with such a bucket of procurement, large bucket of procurement, if you don't, and with a team of not more than 30, 32 people.
Wow.
So it happened all because of the digitization. You don't have to now train people because everything is there on the screen.
Yeah.
So even the newcomer who joins the organization, he can, within 7 days, he can go through everything.
Ramp up.
Otherwise, he has to move from vertical to be trained.
Yeah.
Now it's slightly easier to train him on a single window where he can see how the things are happening and what is the spend in different categories, what are the number of items, how the negotiations are happening online, what are the results of auctions, and you can just chart out, see how the you can say partners are behaving in auctions. And that can give you a trend line.
Yeah.
How to deal with so those items where you have little number of low base of suppliers, how you are how to deal where you have got a big base of suppliers.
Right, absolutely.
So all these things, the learning process has become easier.
Which brings me to one more point.
Huh.
Earlier, I have also seen buyers or procurement members. The company was dependent on these team members to manage the entire base, and because it was manual, there was no record of what was the thing. And once, if this guy goes on a break, there's a break in supply chain.
Yeah.
How do you think that's fixed now?
See, now slowly, what I'm finding is that you hardly have to depend upon the lead.
Okay.
See, why? Because there is no accumulation in these Excel sheets or emails. Everything is coming to the software portal.
Right.
So whether it's RFP or RFQ or the, say, offers which are or the comparison sheets, everything is online.
Yeah.
Like it's hardly say the individual's efforts which are required, especially of that particular guy. Now it's more important that how you interact, how much homework you have done.
Yeah.
The homework also, you will find it's there in the portal itself. What was the last purchase prices? What were the quotes given by the other suppliers? What was your requirement? In how many days it was delivered?
Yeah.
Who were the defaulters in quality and timelines?
Yeah.
So, and then see, another area which is visible now is what were the quotes received by the other companies.
Right.
Now, it's not very much available on the portal.
Yeah.
But definitely, since the community of procurement committee is now very working closely to each other,
Right.
the young generations is more interactive.
Yeah.
They are when existing beyond your offices.
Yeah.
They are meeting beyond your offices. Although, say, information sharing, definitely sometimes it is being looked as you are defaulting, but I don't feel like that. More and more you share with your competitors, or even not competitors, then the partners, counterparts, you will grow together.
Right.
So nothing is now with this in this digital world which is not visible to all.
Yeah.
So that is giving you the good database that to do your homework before getting into a big contract.
Right.
Or a big supply contract.
Right.
So homework is required to be done in a better way, where you should have your targets, you should have your the visibility of rates, visibility of quality deliveries, visibility of timelines, and that is what makes you gives you upper hand while getting into a contract.
Right. Absolutely. So we also talked in the middle that you manage biofuels, and I think you have been into sustainable procurement for the last 3 years, deep into this.
Yes.
I would love to hear about your journey in sustainability in procurement and main 3 probably initiatives that you took and its impact that you expect.
So we'll talk one by one on it. And it's a topic which is very close to my heart.
Right.
And I do it with
You
passion.
always talk about it.
So I do it as a passion and not as a job.
Right.
So see, what inspires me is one of our leaders used to talk about it is clean and green is profitable and sustainable also. And I say profitable first because in India, what we inherited is that which is any activity which gives you profit should be done. But the activity which is giving you profit and making you sustainable is above all.
Right.
So all it started with a call that our Prime Minister also took, that we have to be net zero by 2070. There are a lot of good practices happening on waste management across the world. And when we move around, say, you remember Swachhta Seva Abhiyan was started, and everybody, contributed in it across all the organizations or government organizations.
Yeah.
And we were also part of it. So from there, it all started. And it was given, this task was given to the procurement teams to, arrange waste and co-process it in kilns and make the kilns to take a step towards decarbonization. And that was a journey, I say that, where from 1 ton to 1 lakh ton, we were able to source it out. But more important was to connect with all the other industries who are generating waste. And here I'll say that cement industry is the only industry which never generates any waste. That there is whatever comes into the gate, it is being utilized 100%. And that's why we call kiln as Neelkant, which can absorb anything.
Yeah.
So we were looking for. So we were just looking for such organizations which were suffering because of handling of waste, and it was either incinerated or landfilled, and that was also not good for the environment. And when we see that in our early days when we were young, it was a clean sky. And today we just find out the day when it will keep clean. And similarly, we see that we are creating this world now, clearing this garbage, co-processing, recovering energy out of it, and ensuring that we are not emitting, anything which is harmful to the environment. And this is all we are doing for the next generation. And to ensure that our world exists for a longer period of time with, a right quality of air and place to worth living.
Do you measure the emissions saved?
Yes. That is measurable, and that are the guidelines issued by the MOEF and the Pollution Control Board, that you have to operate your plants within these limits. And I think all the cement plants or all the other industries are operating it. It is being monitored online by the Pollution Control Board. They have installed various systems across the plants.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that emission levels are online being monitored, and it is being transmitted to the Central Pollution Control Board and CPCB too. So that was the journey. So from we replaced a lot of fuel and co-processed the waste and saved it to be landfilled and incinerated in open.
Wow. How much was this?
So it was all around, you can say every cement industry is somewhere operating between, they have replaced, the thermal substitution rate is between 3 to 15%. And I think the target, everybody is targeting to reach beyond 15% in the next 2-3 years. And for that, they are investing almost, say, a good amount, a huge amount in each of their kilns to make them compatible to co-process such waste. And now with the, you can say, new technologies that are coming up, I don't foresee that, the coal bill will be reduced not less than by, say, 20% in next 2 years.
Wow.
For every cement organization.
Is it?
Yes.
That fast?
Yes. So target setting is good. People have a clear directions and clear targets. So achieving 20% in next 2-3 years will not be a big challenge. 20% TSR. And similarly, he talked about another sustainable practice. I think digitization was one.
Yeah.
Where every organization started digitizing their procurement, practices. And then third was that how to, increase the share of renewable power.
Yes.
And replace the thermal power which is produced out of coal. And I don't find any industry which is not working on it.
Right.
So everybody is targeting somewhere, operating between 10 to 60% replacement of thermal power by renewable power. And that's also a very big lever in any organization to optimize its cost. So with waste also, you are optimizing your cost, you are replacing coal. So it's again profitable and sustainable. With renewable power also, you are optimizing your cost from thermal power to your renewable power. And I'm going green. And another last lever that we worked was replacing diesel by electric vehicles and LNG fuels. And that's gaining a pace. And another 3 years or 4 years, you will find that not only two-wheelers are very much visible, but all heavy trucks will be replacing outward as well as inward logistics by electrical vehicles.
And it's happening?
That's happening. Wow. That's happening. And India is gaining pace. Indian OEMs are doing very well. And the government is also supporting through various schemes. And people are, they are now, it has become a passion to do it. Say, definitely you will be optimizing your cost because HSDs will be always costlier than electric operation of trucks. And similarly, LNG, which is, because of geopolitical issues, the cost of LNG shot up in last 2 years, but it is back to normal now. So there are companies in India which are manufacturing also, giving transportation services also, and setting up LNG pumps also. And of Government of India, IOCL, HPCL, they are also doing very good, contributing very well. And you will see the population building up very soon.
Interesting.
Very visible also.
So I think you mentioned so many good things happening in the industry.
Yeah.
I would ask you one more thing here. What are the things that you felt would pick up pace but still haven't, and you really want them to pick up pace?
So one of the things is that still organizations are working by downloading their data from their database and creating Excel sheets, and a lot of time is being wasted. Because in the last, few years, almost Indian industries have also taken the best practices, adopted the best practices, which is there in many European countries, as well as many MNCs are working in that way only. That everything is to be on stream. For everything, there should be a dashboard. So that once you have a data, then through that data lake, you should have a data dashboard, and people should not devote time on getting downloads and preparing Excel sheets or preparing PowerPoint sheets. But still, it's happening. So
that's tragic, it's 2023. And
yes. So my, you can say dream is that how to ensure that the team which is working day and night for preparing presentations and they should come out of that hectic work and
repetitive work,
and they should be able to assess and take actions and analyze the things more. That time should be devoted on analysis part, where even you can do analysis through AI also. Now that is very, the way you type on the ChatGPT and get the solution. Similarly, it should be here.
I want to double click on that, but let's go to this.
So that should be here also. Once you have a data lake, then you should just say it should be window, you can say operations, where you just put in forward, inputs that you want this.
Yeah.
And you get the presentation in the right format.
Wow.
And it's happening in various big fours. They have a team and they have a very good software where, the people who are leading from the front, they don't have to get into all these Excel sheets and all. Whatever they want, they give their inputs and they get the data within, hours, maybe a few minutes.
You mentioned that, there are things that you think for example, AI, you think data-driven dashboard. What other things you feel need change? And as a industry, you want to promote or propagate that change?
Yeah. So one of the things is that certain things which we come to know at the end of the month, if they are there or if they are, means those triggers are there, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe in procurement or any other field, it will give you an upper hand to take right actions at right time. Now, what will be those triggers that you have to, because population is big.
Yeah.
You need to filter out that I want triggers only on these 5 items.
For example?
Like for procurement, if I say, if there is a big price change that has happened or going to happen, if that trigger is there for any of the raw materials that are used in, say, like maybe prices of various metals, and if the trend shows there is a trigger that this price is rising now you can take a decision. Alumina is rising.
Yeah.
Now you have to give the order for refractories. You give it in right time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, see, raw material cost, you will have to pay it off to the supplier. Maybe whether they have a inventory or not.
Yeah.
Still, everyone will try to take the advantage of the rising prices from supplier side. And if it's decreasing, then definitely you should know that the price trends are going down. So one is the price trends of various metals. Then I can say that what is, is your spend crossing your budgets? So even if you are, if you are running in the second or first quarter of the month, of the year, and your budget crossing, say, 5 months or 6 months, then it's good to get the inputs that your budget in this particular spend is increasing, so that you can take it up with your customers, all stakeholders, that why it's happening and what is the way to control it. And lastly, raw material prices, how to get trigger for that. At the end of the month, if you see that the transportation cost has increased and that's why your cost has gone up, or that there was a bad auction for you, which increased the cost of procurement. And if it's known well in time, there may be certain actions which you can take, which can subside your cost increase, and you can devote more time on those levers, reducing the cost. So those are the things which one should know.
Now, coming back to AI and ChatGPT that you mentioned, so how have you used ChatGPT so far, and or what are the 3 applications of AI that you see every procurement leader should be considering using?
So, Gaurav, to be very transparent, I have been using it since last 1 month only.
Okay.
But then I tried doing every bit, and what I can do.
More prompts.
More prompts. And I learned it not only to make myself more compatible with the software, but also I wanted to see people doing it. Because whenever I was asking that, please, this is what is required. So everybody has a reason that it will take so much time.
Yeah.
I thought, why not to get it done through ChatGPT? I just wrote that, please prepare a RFP for me for these category of item.
Okay.
And these are the 3 suppliers, and this is the quantity I require.
Everything.
So there is, you will find within few seconds it was created. Now, similarly, I was about to appoint a person. I give a requisition for appointing a person for whom a JD was required. So I just typed that I want a person with this qualification, with this much experience, and in this field. I want to put him on these particular jobs. What type of, please prepare appropriate JD, and I got it. So I was joining to be more transparent, I was joining a new organization. So what are the things to be taken care of in the first few months of I just typed and I got 10 important points. These are the 10 things you should ensure in the early months of your joining. So everything is visible. One of my colleagues asked me that his son was doing some business. I want to buy this particular product. He is searching for this particular raw material. but I was not dealing in that. So can you give me certain insights of suppliers?
Yeah.
I just typed on it and
You got suppliers.
I want suppliers. So it's a wonderful tool, and even if you have to subscribe for it, there are subscriptions, and I think why not to be it to be a part in your organization as you have Outlook Express, as you have Gmails. Organizations should make it ChatGPT also a part of it, where the larger subscription can have a easy, lower cost also, and adoption by a number of people across the organization will help it making the things faster.
That's actually on our roadmap, integrating directly with ChatGPT so that companies and people in procurement can create RFP within seconds within Procol.
Yeah.
I think that would change the game of how these templates were created earlier and so on.
And I think, suppose your organization can have a dashboard where in procure to pay also, in auctions also, I think it will be a good, you can say, service to the, or you can say, a good lead for maybe advertising your software also.
For sure.
And people like us will definitely, try to get on to such software.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now coming to your younger self, you mentioned, you were on the ground, you were trying to do things on your own, and you broke into procurement because you had to. For the future procurement leaders who are still working in many large organizations, what are the 3 things that you will give advice to these young, future, ambitious procurement leaders?
So first is, I always talk about innovation. So innovation is, it should be part of your daily activities. And for that, you need to know what are your bigger challenges. And if it's listed on a screen in front of you always. So at least, I'm just correlating it with when I was pursuing CA. So there were certain subjects which had a lot of formulas. And remembering all the time was difficult. So I put a list of formulas in front of my study table. So whenever I was not willing to, was willing to take a break, I used to go through those formulas. Similarly, I'll say that young procurement leaders should have a list of category of items which are a challenge for them to buy, because maybe they don't have a big supplier base, or maybe that there are certain items which are too costly and they are not coming out of, how to optimize it because it has a good spend also in a year. Now, such challenges, maybe 3-4 of them, if the young leaders keep always in front of them, I'm sure that they will take out time to innovate. How to come out of that challenge. And so innovation, and secondly, I'll say that almost 30-40% of the cost present today goes into the transportation of materials. So suppose if how to come out or how to optimize that, because that cost is being incurred by the partner also, and it is being paid by you, and neither he is receiving any revenue out of it nor you are receiving. So how to optimize that 30% cost of transportation by innovative ways. Secondly, what is the ordering time that you are incurring? With this digitization, definitely, if the lead time reduces, you will be building up lesser inventories at your plant. Because the plant team, who are the users, they think that ये order मैं आज करवा दूंगा तो मुझे 8 महीने बाद ये material आने वाला है. And after 4 months, he again places an order for it. Being a crucial item for him. Because he knows वो भी 8 महीने बाद आएगा, and the life is say 3 months or 6 months.
Right.
So if that confidence is given to that user that whatever you will order, whatever you will give a requisition for, the buyer will be able to buy it in maximum 15 days, and the supplier will supply it in 1 month or 3 months. I think you will be ending up building lesser inventories.
Right.
And for that, the lead time also goes in transportation. The lead time goes in, say, production lines. And the capacity that the manufacturer has in his factory. Now, all these things have to be how to bring it on a digital platform. If I know or the stakeholder knows that manufacturing facility is now operating at 80% of that particular good, he can better place an order at that time, so that the manufacturer also gets full load of his manufacturing capacity, right time of putting it into manufacturing, and the stakeholder or the user also gets the delivery in time. Maybe that he orders it when his lines are full.
Right.
So why not that visibility goes down the line?
Of course.
And that will help always to the supplier to run his plants at full capacities and bring the economy of production and pass it on to the buyer.
Right. No, that makes complete sense. Finally, one last thing I'd like to address. Many startups or MSMEs are trying to sell to large companies. Because as a small business owner, you don't get visibility on how procurement is done, what are the stages of doing business with a large company. How do you think any organization, what are the initiatives one can take to make it easier for smaller businesses to sell to large companies?
Well, this is good questions that you have brought to our discussions. See, we were also facing this challenge almost 3 years back.
Okay.
And there was a lot of push, and from the various government organizations also, and our organization also, and because how to provide a easy approach or a platform for easy approach for MSMEs. Yeah. And I was there in the FICCI Procurement Committee, and government has also brought a online, procurement practices, and that's operating into NIC has prepared that software, and it's operating at a good volume also now. So I'll say, I'll share that everyone in the procurement community, every organization should have a supplier onboarding platform. And once it is there, it's easy for everybody to approach, to onboard themselves, to connect us. And that's a link where everybody can click on and get into interactions with us or with any organization. Right. And that also helps you filtering the right, partners to work with you. And now with the ESG compliances, it's important that you have to have that record, and if you have to have suppliers who are doing something on ESG, you can give them a bit of priority if you want. Maybe after 4 or 5 years, everybody will be on a ESG compliant company, as I foresee. But then connecting with MSMEs and startups is easier if you have a supplier onboarding platform.
Right. No.
And supplier can always put in what more he has started doing. So you do not know. You have onboarded one supplier, and for 5 years you are not knowing that he has also expanded.
Right.
But here you have a facility that supplier can come up on the dashboard, on the portal, and just upgrade him whatever additions he have done to his business.
Right.
So it's easy approach, and whenever anybody is getting into digital procurement, supplier onboarding is a must.
Must software. Yeah, for sure. We have seen use cases growing phenomenally.
Yeah.
We are exponentially onboarding new suppliers now every month. Yeah, I completely align. That's all, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I wish you very luck and all the best for the next leg of your journey. Thank you for having.
Thank you, Gaurav. And I'll also like to say that your organization has grown multi-folds with all your efforts, and I see the bubbling young team that you are working with and new ideas that you are bringing to the table. I wish that your company grows many folds, and you also keep smiling.
Thank you, sir.